Star Wars. We don't talk about it very often on this show, but SHAWN Levy had some comments about Star Wars, his upcoming Star Wars Starfighter. It isn't a prequel or sequel. This is from Collider. I know you have notes, Badger, if you would.
He says it is different in that it is an all-new, non-sequel, non-prequel adventure. It's new characters. It's a new timeline. It inherits legacy themes, but it's really trying to give Star Wars something fresh. He describes the film's tone as a return to the magic and humor of the original 1977 classic, adding, "We're really trying to sort of take that tone as a North Star every day, with a spirit of play and a big-hearted adventure with moments of real levity that, frankly, A New Hope had in a revolutionary way." He praised Lucasfilm for allowing creative freedom, noting, "There's no pressure to be derivative or limited by an obligation to what came before. There's just a love of what came before." He then shared his personal excitement, saying, "My 10-year-old self is on set with me every day. In fact, he's going to catch a flight tonight to go back to the set and keep shooting Monday." Story takes place several years after the rise of Skywalker, following the presumed fall of the First Order and Emperor Palpatine's Sith cult. He summed up his mission simply, "It's a huge, invigorating opportunity. Lucasfilm has been so encouraging for me doing something new. It's about rediscovering the wonder of Star Wars for a new generation."
I'm sorry, Badger. You just read a Ryan Johnson interview.
I'll just say, looking at this image, here's an image from Starfighter. It looks pretty generic. It looks like Temu Star Wars to me. And I love
Waterworld.
Also, I'm going to call bullshit that there's no connection to Rise of Skywalker in this.
Yeah.
There's no way there's no connection to Rise of Skywalker.
I bet vital parts of my anatomy that it's all leading to this force-sensitive boy being dropped off at Rey's Jedi Praxium.
Is that for sure the premise?
What parts of your anatomy?
Vital. Vital.
The saber.
The premise is he gets charged, and this is the bare bones that we know for sure. He gets charged by his sister, played by Amy Adams, to take his force-sensitive nephew somewhere because they're being chased by the Matt Smith and Mia Goth military characters.
So it's the Mandalorian.
Probably because he's force-sensitive.
It's the Mandalorian story, really? Is that for sure? Officially?
That's officially what it is. Ryan Gosling takes his nephew on the run.
Because that's a sequel to me.
Yeah.
If it connects in any way to what came before, I would still call that a sequel. If Rey shows up, that's a sequel.
All they have to do
I don't know, it's weird.
All they have to do is give us Top Gun in space. That's all they have to do.
Right.
We still have that Simon Kinberg trilogy of Rey movies.
Well, they do have the same cinematographer as Top Gun Maverick and Tron Legacy, apparently.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Any hopes? Any hopes for this?
I mean, I'll watch it. But I have no hopes.
Right.
But
I like
Sean
Levy. I like his movies. I don't think I've seen a Sean Levy movie that I haven't liked. I didn't say love because Deadpool and Wolverine is kind of it's a lot of member berries, and the story doesn't hold up. But initially, I liked it. I really enjoyed it. So
I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that the fan theory, which I disavow, but the fan theory is that Amy Adams, who is a redhead, is playing Mara Jade, who is Luke Skywalker, and so that's actually Luke's son.
Yeah,
that is a fucking fan theory, and of course, I
hope that's not true.
I hope that's not true too. But then, hey, at least there'd be a Skywalker out there as opposed to some bitch that just took his name. Sorry, she's
They would never do. They would never do what fans want, anyways. So it's not like I don't know. I think they just want to.
That's the other thing, Robert. They don't know who this. They don't pay attention.
I wonder if that's a dig, though. Does it sound like a dig to y'all, where he's saying, "I don't feel like I have to connect to anything of the prior creatives, like
smart
the sequels or like anything Dave Filoni's done." Like, do you think that's, or maybe I'm just reading too much into it? Like, don't worry, it's not connected to anything of the stuff you didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, by the way, breaking news: it's now retitled Star Wars Badlands.
Look, man, I don't want to be the prophet of gloom and doom here, but here's the thing: once Grogu and Mando fails, right? Because it's going to fail,
and it will.
Once it fails, and everything's riding on this. What happens to Lucasfilm if this doesn't do well? If
Sell it to
Starfighter doesn't do
Apple?
well,
They'll keep going. They're gonna keep
Will
doing
they
the same
go?
crap. Probably.
You think they
I
would
mean,
sell it?
Well, here's
they
the
would
question:
never.
what's coming after this?
I'll tell you what's going to
The
happen.
Ray trilogy.
They are going to remake the original trilogy.
No.
However, I have a caveat. I have a theory. This is my theory. They will remake the OT, but the way they'll do it is in anime, because anime is so popular. They'll do anime style remake of the original trilogy. They'll change up some things, and there you go. It'll
They might as well
renew
do
the
a radio series then.
Right.
Who knows?
I don't know, man. Chris, I don't know because the thing about anime is that it's the Asian sensibility that makes it what it is. So
Well, it's very
could you-
popular. Very popular.
no, it's great, but it's popular because that sensibility is not the sensibility you get here in the West. And there's an authenticity about it. There's the way that stories are told. There's an underlying, they don't shy away from certain things. The people in Japan have been human beings a lot longer than Americans have. So they know more about the world around them than I think that we do. And that's why those stories are imbued with literally hundreds and hundreds of more years of storytelling than we have here in this country.
Robert, you're too charitable. They're just going to steal the design. It'll just look like anime, but it'll be their own horrible changes.
That's the thing. I think what Dante was saying earlier too is Star Wars still relevant?
Yeah.
Right.
When it comes right down to it, I think that James Bond is no longer relevant. I'm the biggest James Bond fan in the world, but the problem with James Bond is, who does he fight?
right?
Before, when you had
Tommies.
well, that's the thing. When you had the Russians and Smersh, and the world was a much more, we knew who the bad guys are. And now when you have everything is fractured and there's no nation states working against one another the way they are now, how does a character like Bond even exist today?
And
He doesn't.
be
He
with
doesn't
women
work
and
today.
drink too much. And
Right. I think you're right, Dante. I don't think that you can try and you can still tell those stories, but does that character work anymore?
James
feel like
Bond
it's
is
more of the
James Bond is a
gatekeeper.
Cold War era hero, man. Like he doesn't work today.
she calls
in
him that in
2025.
Goldeneye. A relic of the Cold War.
misogynist dinosaur, a product of the Cold War. a relic
I
of the
think
Cold
it
War.
can work today, but I think the gatekeepers will prevent it from being what it should be.
But the thing is, how do you? I mean, the very idea of the character of Bond works for MI6, so you're limited from that unless you're going to fundamentally change. And I think that's the problem with a lot of these our IPs is they haven't been, like, if you think about what is the one IP in the last 15 years that's managed to thrive, there's one.
John
really.
Wick.
John
That's
Wick.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
5 movies if you include Ballerina and its spin-off TV series, and those films. That movie started out, the first John Wick movie was a relatively low budget film, and they kept the budgets down and upped the ante in that franchise. I mean, arguably the fourth one, I still like the first one the best, but the fourth one was a banger.
Yeah.
And if you look at that franchise, it belongs to this era.
Yep.
And I think that what we've been talking about earlier is what we need in terms of our entertainment, and what Hollywood desperately needs is to not retread. You need to forge new ground. I don't know what that ground is, but that's what creatives used to do, and the studios would give creatives the ability to do so. But now with Wall Street thinking, you can't do that. And John Wick was a franchise created for a $20 million movie, that first one, with Keanu Reeves, who's kind of in a waning moment of his career, so they were able to get him. But if we don't have that kind of thinking anymore, how are we supposed to get new franchises?
Well, we have it. It's just coming out of the East. All right. That's
Right.
where that
That's right,
creativity is happening. It's coming out of anime. Like I brought this up when I was talking about Demon Slayer, and everybody's looking at how big it is. Demon Slayer is like 2016. I think that's when the first manga was originally written. So that's less than 10 years ago. I forget the name of the mangaka. It's a girl, it's a woman that wrote Demon Slayer. She puts it out there, becomes a huge success. It gets its anime spinoff in 2020, right at the height of the pandemic, right when the pandemic starts. Everybody's staying at home. All these kids are watching it. And then now we have a movie that's probably going to hit $1 billion once it hits China this
The first of a trilogy.
Yeah, the first of a trilogy. So think about it. They started a woman writing a comic book started something brand new, less than 10 years ago. And now it's a household name. Everybody knows it. So why can't the West do that? Why can't we do that over here? They have a machine out there. But the way that mangas become popular, there's a whole machine that goes, that's behind all of that. They don't just write a random script or random book and it just pops up and it becomes huge. There's a whole machine that works behind the scenes of making sure that every mangaka is vetted and they've worked under somebody and they know, okay, this is what the audiences are looking for. And now they're able to deliver that. And then they start coming up with multiple ideas. And there's a ton of ideas out there that never hit the surface. But every once in a while, you see some of these mangakas and they keep writing and they keep working on their craft. And then slowly but surely, that book just rises. And all of a sudden, it's a success. Chainsaw Man is another one that dropped this year. A lot of these mangas, these guys have written 5,
Even
6,
Dog
7,
Man did
8
pretty good this
stories.
year, right?
Yeah,
Dog Man?
yeah, I think
Like,
that was
another one, right?
Animated, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
But they take so long to rise up. But it's all because there's a machine behind them that's getting these guys ready for the big time. We need that in Hollywood, where Hollywood is training new writers, new directors, new creatives, not pushing them into, hey, just make something for the current era, the woke era, whatever. Let's grab this Dan Trachtenberg and let's put him through Predator. He should be making his own stuff. This guy's clearly got talent to go and make something of his own. Let
He
him go out
directed
and
the
make
pilot for
new-
The Boys.
You see what I'm pointing? Let him go out and do his own thing. Don't strap him down to this franchise and then, okay, we just want you to make Predator movies. And I mean, it's a good payday for him, I'm quite sure. But at the same time, it's like we're not getting the best of him because I feel like he's going to put a lot of his best stuff into this Predator franchise instead of making something brand new. And, Predators, people are going to get tired of this. I don't think this movie is watchable. I'm sorry to go back to Predator Badlands. I don't think this movie is going to have a lot of rewatch value, in theaters. I think people will kind of check it on streaming and then it'll be forgotten.
Well,
but if he was doing his own thing, I think it would be a different story.
Well, it's like I feel like creativity is being squandered, or as Justine Bateman says, make new things. I mean, Trachtenberg, I agree, wildly talented.
He literally made something new. He did a Predator movie from the Predator's point of view, did something completely brand new, and everyone says
it's not in his
fucking
own
remake the
franchise.
first one again.
That's not his
brand
franchise,
new.
bro. He
It's
should be doing his own franchise. He should be
the
building
skin
something
of the franchise.
his universe,
I know.
from his creativity. You know what I'm saying?
What keeps coming
Like
to mind
this-
is like with what Gareth Edwards did with The Creator, right? Where it's like we had this new sci-fi concept that somebody put out that wasn't anything we had seen before. It was on a super slim budget and looked good, was made on the cheap, and was something none of us had seen before. And it's like we need more of that from those type of directors.
Right.
I didn't really like The Creator, though.
Yeah, that's
I know
the
there was
problem. The
something
movie,
like
the
it.
movie
I
didn't
didn't
really
like
work.
It looked good.
Yeah.
It looked
Thanks,
It
Zach.
looked
Look at
good.
Rebel Moon.
And
Why
they're-
didn't we
and
all
look, they
just
ain't
go onto
always
that
gonna
new
work, though.
thing? All this new shit is just copying the good stuff that we've made. I'm sorry that we peaked, but